squad is in the house. Yeah, it's party time. All right now, baby, all right. 60 minutes falls out. Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out. Raise up Bear Claw Stinger. Ready?
Yo, Adam, what's up, kid?
What up, baby?
It's game day, baby.
Yo, I got a smile on my face.
You do, right?
Yeah.
A lot of games, a lot of sick games this weekend, bro.
You know it.
This is gonna be interesting.
This is a big week in college football, man. A lot of good matchups. Just interesting games. Like a lot of the conference division battles are being shaken out this week, or in every conference across the nation. I mean, they matched up very well for this week. This is going to be a week of games that are going to be close, exciting finishes. I see in a lot of these games, there's not too many like high spread. There's not even too many double-digit spread games. A lot of the spreads I'm looking at 2, 4, 5, 6 points, 3.5. A lot of games like that.
Toughies.
A lot of toughies. And if you want, we could start off with a toughie.
What you got right there? What do we got? Oh, Michigan and Michigan State.
Yeah, the battle of the Gretchen Whitmer State?
Is
that governor?
Is that Gretchen? Yeah, that is Gretchen Whitmer State.
Yeah, the Gretchen Whitmer Bowl.
That fucking witch.
Yeah, that winch. So this is the first time. This is a big game. This is the first time in a long time that both, I think it was 1964, thought I saw somewhere that both teams are in the top 10.
Really?
Michigan and Michigan State are both undefeated right now. 7-0. Is a huge game. Michigan being 7-0 in any particular season is not that big of a shocker because they always have potential to be really good. They haven't been yet under Harbaugh, but this is kind of the season where they're doing it. But Michigan State, especially after the way they've declined the last 2 years, the way they're playing football this year has been really a surprise. But this kid, Peyton Thorne, they have a quarterback. He's good. I'm a believer in him. They got a couple of veteran wide receivers. They got a transfer running back, Kenneth Walker, who's playing great. I think he transferred from Wake Forest. Michigan State, they still get some good players over there. You know, they're 7-0, and I'm a believer in them. I think they're a legit team. I know Michigan's always good defensively. Jim Harbaugh and his khaki pants, you know how that goes. He's always out there. And I'm a Harbaugh fan. Like, I like Jim Harbaugh. He's a good coach. He gets riffed on by the media for wearing khaki pants and, you know, recruiting out of the box a little bit. He's not really, like, in the box. He does kind of his own thing. So you know how that goes. They riff on him. So I like Harbaugh in Michigan. They run the ball. They got two good running backs. They're a running team with Corum and Tompkins. They're on the road at Michigan State laying 4 points. I think it's going to be a good football game, but I'm going with Michigan State at home with the points. And I'm even going to money line a little bit on this game. I like the 4 points at home. I like Michigan State's quarterback is the difference maker for me in this game. I think both McNamara is pretty good too, but I really like this Peyton Thorne. I know he's got Jalen Naylor at receiver, and I'm going with Michigan State. At home, getting 4, buy the half a point, make it 4.5. Why not? Be safe.
Oh, yeah.
Be safe. So, yeah.
Adam, son, you must buy the half a point, always.
You damn right. Especially in those 3 points, 4 points, and 7 points, and 10 points, we buy those half points. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Spartacus, over the Wolverines at home. In a big game in the Big Ten. And let's stay in the Big Ten while we're there. Another good game in the Big Ten on the west side, Iowa and Wisconsin. You want to talk defense, this should be a defensive battle. It's going to be what I call a dirty game.
Dirty.
The over-under is 36.5. When's the last time you seen an over-under of 36.5 in a college football game? But yeah, 36.5. Wisconsin is the 3-point home favorite. You know, the home team always gets the 3 points if they're about even, and that's what this game is. They could be going off for 3.5 in some places. This is a tough game. I'm going with Iowa in this game, though. I've just been on Iowa all year. I like the 3.5 points on the road. The quarterbacks are about even. Neither one of them is that impressive. Wisconsin's probably played a tougher schedule, being that they had Michigan already, Penn State already at home and lost, and they played Notre Dame at home and lost all 3 of those games, but at least they played them. But so they played tougher competition than Iowa. Iowa beat Penn State. Iowa's played some tough games too, beating Penn State, beating Iowa State. And I say they go on the road at Camp Randall, and they're going to get the win at Wisconsin. So I'm going to take the 3.5 points with Iowa, and I'm going to take the money line. As low as the 36.5 is, I'm tempted to take the under, but I would stay away from that. It's going with the Hawkeyes on the road, getting the points, 3.5. Take the points, money line. Iowa Hawkeyes over Wisconsin.
What else? There's some other really tight games. Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. What about that one? That's like a 4-point. They're giving Georgia Tech 4 points, right?
Georgia Tech's a 4-point favorite at home.
I want to hear your take on that because that's a pretty tight one.
It is a tight one, and it's a team. It's a game with two teams that have kind of Jekyll and Hyde a little bit this year. Virginia Tech started out good with the win over North Carolina, but they've been, peekabooing a little bit since then. Georgia Tech's a team that kind of was 2 years ago was terrible. They kind of scrapped the whole program with that they were running under I forget the guy's name. Gray hair guy. Anyways.
The guy with the gray hair.
Yeah, Paul Johnson.
The guy who holds the clipboard on the sidelines. That guy?
With
the headset?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Paul Johnson. They got rid of the triple option offense. So, it takes time to rebuild and get different players who are just more zone read and spread, more regular college football type offense. So Georgia Tech had to kind of turn, but they're slowly getting better. They're slowly building Georgia Tech.
The question is, can they beat Virginia Tech this weekend?
I think they can at home.
You think they could?
And I think they're going to be hyped. And I think the game means more to them than it does to Virginia Tech. So I'm going with Georgia Tech, laying the 4 at home. I'm by the 0.5 point, make it 3.5. And I'm going to take the Jackets minus 3.5 at home against Virginia Tech.
Sweet.
I think they're going in slightly different opposite directions here. So Georgia Tech, the quarterback Sims is playing better and better. So I'm going to go with the Jackets.
Nice.
At home.
I want to talk about your boy Kenny Pickett, though. Because I know you said last week he was going to have a big game. And my man had a big game.
In a big win.
How much did he pass for? Over 300 yards? Insanity.
Against Clemson.
Well, they're playing Miami. Miami's going to be over at Pitt, so...
Another big name ACC school. Last week they beat Clemson, who's been basically the monsters of the ACC for the last 5-7 years. They've been the team in the ACC. Clemson, Pitt beat them. So that's just a big win mentally for that program. Now here comes Miami, another, a team with tradition that still has a high regard. But Miami, as we know, hasn't been the Hurricanes of the 90s and 80s recently, but they're not a bad team. They had a nice win last week at home against NC State with the freshman quarterback, Van Dyke, who's pretty good, actually. He's actually a pretty solid player. Pitt is a 9-point favorite at home against Miami, and it's a 61-point over-under. Now, Pitt played good defense last week against Clemson. Ugalele struggled, but Miami's been playing pretty good offense recently with the quarterback. I'm going in this game. I love Pitt. I want to take Pitt so badly, but I think Miami will hang in the game. So I'm going to go over 61 in this game. I'm going to buy the 0.5 point, make it 60.5, but I'm going to take the over in this game. Miami and Pitt going over 61, 60.5. I think there's going to be some points scored today in that contest. So that's what I'm liking there. I'm liking that over in the Pitt Miami game. I think Pitt's going to win. I just don't know if they'll cover the 9 points. Miami's been competitive the last few weeks against Virginia, against North Carolina, against NC State. So they've been playing tough football under Manny Diaz. But I'm going over. I think there's going to be some points scored today.
All right. So that brings us to another toughie, another tight one right here. Maryland at Indiana.
In a Yuck Bowl. Two teams.
I'm sorry, Indiana at Maryland.
Yeah, Indiana's at Maryland. Indiana, both their quarterbacks that started this season, Penix and Tuttle, I think, are both out for this game. They have two young quarterbacks that they're going to go with today, meaning that they don't really have a quarterback. And it's a shame because they have a couple good veterans on that team, Freifogel and Peyton Hendershot, the tight end. They had players coming into the season after the great season they had last year, and the way the Indiana program has had momentum the last few years. This has been a tough year for them, basically losing and getting blown out recently. But they don't have a quarterback, and Maryland does. They have Tagovailoa. Maryland, after a good start, had a couple of nice wins, beat West Virginia. They've been struggling. They've been getting, kind of their butts handed to them last couple of weeks by Ohio State and Minnesota. Indiana is not either of those teams. So in this one, we're going to go Maryland at home. It's a game they kind of got to win. The line just went down to 4, which I don't know why the line. People are actually betting Indiana. Oh, no, it went back up to 4.5. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with Maryland. One team has a quarterback, one doesn't. So we're going to go with the Terps here, laying 4.5 against Indiana at home. The Terps should get the win. And if they don't get the win, then you got to start looking at that coach, looking sideways at him, because it's a game they should win, Maryland at home, if they want to make a bowl game of some sort.
Well, we got there's so many tight games, man. Texas at Baylor, that's 2.5,
2.5 point.
2.5.
I was hoping this game has been very tough for me this week. Baylor. Are they for real? That's the question you got to ask. They're 6-1. Their only losses to Oklahoma State by 3 points on the road. They have wins over Iowa State, West Virginia, BYU. They've looked good. The quarterback Bohannon's been getting better and better every week. I think the key in this game is this Dave Aranda, the LSU offensive coordinator. I think he was an offensive coordinator somewhere else and did very well. This guy is he's a budding star maybe in the coaching ranks. Baylor's playing well. Surprised me this year. Texas got Sarkisian in his first year. He's running with he made a quarterback switch. Both quarterbacks have been up and down. They got that fantastic running back, Bijan Robinson. He's probably going to have a big day today. Can Texas throw the ball well enough to win this game? Texas is always dangerous. They have, good athletes and good players on defense. But I'm going with Baylor at home, 2.5. Dave Aranda I kind of like what he's doing as a coach. I don't know. He's just got a good offense. I see the quarterback getting better for every week. I like that. I think he's in year 2, he's kind of ahead of the curve a little bit. Over there at Baylor, I like what I'm seeing from the Bears. I'm going with the Bears. -2.5 at home. The crowd's going to be pumped up. Longhorns coming in. And I think Baylor wins a close one. Can't really, something in the 31-28 range. Something like that. That's why I wouldn't touch the over-under. Another game I wanted to jump to. Outside, back in the ACC, Syracuse, Boston College at Syracuse. This is an old school Big East game. Now these teams are in the ACC. BC with Grossell, there's been a big drop off at quarterback for them. They had some good moments this year early in the season, but Syracuse is really coming on. They got that running back. His name skips my mind right now, but he's excellent. And Schrader, the quarterback, he can run and throw it. Dino Babers is kind of coaching for his job. He needed to have a kind of a good year this year. Syracuse is coming on. They're playing with urgency. They had that nice win in overtime at Virginia Tech last week on the road. I'm going to hope they come home. I think they're going to come home with some momentum, and I think they're going to play well and handle Boston College at home. I see them winning. I see them covering the 6.5 at home and taking care of Boston College. Something like 31-20. Cuse. So I like Cuse at home laying the points. This is weird. I'm liking good amount of favorites this week so far.
Yeah, that's not normal for you, bro.
Yeah, I'm an underdog.
Like them dogs, kid.
I know. But I'm just got to go with what I'm seeing.
What about Washington State at Arizona State?
You know what?
They're giving Arizona State 16 points, right?
No, Arizona State is the favorite over Washington State.
You like a dog in that one or no?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah? I knew I'd get you.
You knew it, right? You knew how to become. You saw those points.
Hell yeah.
I'm a sucker for points, but honestly, with good reason here. Jordan Delory is a good quarterback, Washington State. They lost by 2 points at home to BYU last week. Very competitive game. Before that, they had won 3 in a row. I think they're playing for something with the whole coach thing out there at Washington State. Arizona State, just when they looked like they were going to dominate the Pac-12 South, just like it looked like Herm's Sun Devils were just the team in that league. You know, they had one. I forgot what. Oh, they beat up on Colorado. Then they beat up on UCLA on the road. They had won another game before that, and they were at home. I mean, they were on the road at Utah, up 21-7 at the half, and it's like, okay, Arizona State, they're the cream of the Pac-12 South. It's looking like. Then they had that rough second half at Utah. Got outscored 28-0. Lost at Utah. 35-21. So now they had a week off. Can they rebound? I think they'll rebound. They'll probably win the game, but I just think Washington State is competitive here. I love Max Borgi, their running back. He's a good running back. He's like a little mini Christian McCaffrey type of dude, right? So I'm going Washington State in the points, plus 16 on the road. I think they cover, and I wouldn't be shocked if they won the game. I actually have a parlay where I have their money line. I think it's let me see the money line on that. It's pretty steep. It's pretty nice. The money line on that. Let me just get it right here. Find it. So many games have flipped through. That money line is. I must have passed it. Here we go. I think it's like plus 500 or something nice. I just want to get the number on that. Young blood. Hold on. Where is that? Look at them. Here it is. Plus 500. Washington State, I feel like it's worth a couple bucks. Like Anthony always says, though, not grandma's grocery money.
Don't gamble away grandma's grocery money. Yeah, just make sure your bills are paid.
Everything's in order.
Pay the lights. Make sure the lights are on.
Yeah. All right.
Do little bets. Yeah.
Make sure you
micro transactions. Don't go nuts.
Make sure you got to pay your phone bill. Let's go, fellas. But yeah, Washington State. Now, let's see. Who else? What do we got? What about Iowa, Wisconsin? Did we cover that? We did that.
We covered that one. Okay. Let's see here. But Iowa State, West Virginia.
That's a tough game.
Who you like?
I'm an Iowa State fan. Yeah. I like Iowa State. I always look to bet them. They're a team I really like. But this year they've been weird. I haven't really gotten to pick them, the lines in their game, because they came in this year with so much hype. They were supposed to win the Big 12 maybe. They lost that game to Baylor. We kind of took they lost the game at Iowa and at Baylor, 2 tough games on the road that they lost, kind of took the wind out of their sails, but they've been playing well. But West Virginia looks like they're going to play well. Looks like they're starting to play well also. I mean, 7.5 points, Iowa State. That is a true toughie. I want to take West Virginia in the points, but I'm not going to yet. We're going to come back to that game, but you got me with that game. That's a tough game because West Virginia had the nice road win at TCU last week. I like Seth Dagey, their quarterback. He's a very functional quarterback. They have a good running back. I see a close game. I see a competitive game. So you know me, I want to take the points.
Of course, yeah.
But that's not. I feel like I can get another couple games that I'm more confident in that game. But that's going to be a good game. I feel like
good game to watch. Maybe you don't bet on that one.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, just enjoy it. Enjoy some good fucking football.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Ole Miss at Auburn.
Oh, yikes. Okay, this game, I want to take Ole Miss. They have the more consistent quarterback. I like Lane Kiffin, even though I know people hate him. I like him. He's a good offensive genius. They have a couple of injury issues at receiver. Braylon Sanders has been banged up. Mingo is out. Corral's been banged up. But you know what? Nick's the quarterback for Auburn. He's just inconsistent. He's good when he's good. He's just not consistent like Corral is for Ole Miss. I feel like talent-wise, the teams that got similar things going on. I'm going to take Ole Miss in the 3 points. I'm going to buy a half a point. I'm going to take Ole Miss in the 3.5 as a dog at Auburn. I like the quarterback better. So why not take the quarterback that you like better? Teams are kind of even. You know, get the points and the quarterback. So I'm going to go with Ole Miss. What's that old thing? Where do you think the old comes from? The O-L-E? Ole Anderson?
Ole Anderson? The enforcer?
Yeah.
No, that was Arn. Arn Anderson was the enforcer.
Ole was his brother. We're talking a little wrestling.
And he used to say Ric Flair was his cousin. That was like the whole angle.
Yeah, they were all probably marrying each other's cousins and whatnot. Who knows? Those guys.
Those wrestlers. God bless them.
I know, right?
What about back to football, bro. What about Kentucky at Mississippi State? That's a tight one too, bro. That's a tight one. But that's why we got to do this, bro. We got to pick your brain, dude.
I know. All right. So this game, I'm a Mississippi State guy. I follow them. I root for them a lot since Dak Prescott was there, even before then. So I follow the program. I like this kid, Will Rogers, a quarterback. They've been up and down. They had the nice win at Texas A&M. They're coming off a big confidence-building win at Vanderbilt. Now they come home for that Kentucky team. Kentucky's pretty good. They got a good running back, Rodriguez. I like the quarterback, Will Levis. I think he's another guy improving and playing well. This is a very tough game. Did I put the over-under on that game? The Kentucky-Mississippi. Let me just find that. Kentucky-Mississippi State. The over-under shouldn't be that high for those two teams. That should be in the high 40s. Yeah, I know. I'm going to cop out and pick the over-under instead of picking the game. It's just a hard game to pick. Kentucky's won more games this year. Is it one of those games where they lose on the road to Mississippi State? 47 is the over-under. I'm going to go over 47 in this game. 40 by half a point, 46 and a half. I'm going to go over 47 in this game. I think the quarterbacks will play well, Will Levis and Will Rogers. So we're going to go over 46 and a half. Now, speaking of another game with a tight
SMU at Houston.
Yeah,
that's a tight one.
This is a huge game in the American Conference because these two teams are the teams that are competing against Cincinnati, the number 2 team in the country. So Cincinnati needs to have big games in the conference to keep their status up there in that top 4. Because if Cincinnati goes undefeated, they got to make the playoffs. And hey, who knows? Maybe SMU, who's undefeated, maybe they'll make the playoffs and they'll beat Cincinnati. Who knows? Can't sleep on that. They're ranked number 19 in the country. They play one-loss Houston, who lost their first game of the season against Texas Tech in a tough loss, but they've been undefeated ever since. Haven't beat anybody too crazy, but they've been kind of slapping teams around. And, Houston's a good program, so this is going to be this is a big game for SMU, undefeated, on the road at Houston. Clayton Tune, quarterback for Houston, a guy who he's been up and down, sideways. I'm going with SMU in this game. I get SMU. SMU's got to stay undefeated to have a showdown with Cincinnati for the American. Houston has 1 loss. I hope they get 2 losses because I'm going with the Stangs. Oh! And SMU over Houston in a pick'em at Houston, a big game for the Stangs, and they're going to win it 34-30 in Houston. That'll be a big win for SMU. They should move up in the rankings too with a win there in that game. So it kind of sets up that Cincinnati SMU game as a showdown. That's why. So we need that to happen. We need the Stangs to pull through today, and I think they're gonna. Tanner Mordecai is a big time quarterback. He can really sling the rock.
What's his last name?
Mordecai. Tanner Mordecai is a big time quarterback.
Nice.
SMU has weapons. They can run the ball. They got weapons on the outside. The defense has gotten better. They had a lot of kids from Dallas. This is like Dallas versus Houston, interstate, because SMU's right in that Fort Worth, Dallas area.
True.
Against Houston, so
Little interstate
no
rivalry.
yeah. Brian lives not too far. Our boy Brian.
Shout out to Brian.
Shout out to Beans.
Out there crushing things.
Top level wide receiver from the Renegades and the Mariners doing his thing.
Big B.
My dog. Yeah, he's right in that SMU where they recruit down in the Metroplex in Dallas. So yeah, I'm going with the Stangs.
What about this Louisville NC State showdown over here?
NC State's another one of these ACC Jekyll and Hyde teams. They get the big win over Clemson at home. Then they go to Boston College, slap them around. They're hot, winning games, and then they have to go to Miami, and they played tough. They played Miami tough last week, but they couldn't get the win. They lost on the road to Miami. And Miami is not a bad team. The ACC, I'm telling you, the ACC is the craziest conference this year. But you take Duke out of the picture, right? Because they kind of not on the level. You take the rest of the conference, I don't know, was it 13 other teams? They're all so similar. There's no like hierarchy. Anyone could beat anyone any week. It's the craziest conference. If you just look at the teams playing each other, like, okay, so like Miami beat NC State. But NC State beat Clemson, and Clemson beat Syracuse, but Syracuse beat Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech beat North Carolina, and North Carolina beat Miami, and it's like you don't know every week. It's just whoever that and then Miami plays Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech beat North Carolina, but they lost to Virginia, and Virginia beat Miami, but North Carolina blew out Virginia. It's like it's out of control. The one team that's staying atop, though, is Wake Forest, but people don't believe in Wake Forest. People are expecting Wake Forest to eventually lose. We'll get to them later on either, but I'm going with Louisville, the Jekyll and Hyde ACC. Give me the road team and the 6.5 points. I'm taking the Ville. I like Malik Cunningham. I like him at quarterback. I think he's just as good as NC State's quarterback, maybe better. And I like Scott Satterfield, the coach at Louisville from App State. In year 3, I like him as a coach, and I'm going with the Ville 6.5 on the road. I'm probably going to take them a little money line action on them too today. Also, I think they could win that game.
What about Fresno? You think Fresno could pull it
Big
off?
game in the Mountain West tonight
against San Diego State.
Big game in the Mountain West tonight. The Fresnitos head to San Diego State to take on that tough, physical, defensive-minded San Diego State Aztec team. We know what they do. They turn you over. They play defense. They run the ball. They can't really throw the ball that much, but they find a way to win games. That's what San Diego State does. The Fresnitos can score, though. I love their quarterback, Jake Hayner. I think they'll play enough defense to win this game. They got weapons. I think they're going to score in San Diego State. They're going to force San Diego State to score some points. They're not going to be able to do it. The Fresno, there's a reason why 2-loss Fresno is a favorite by 1 point on the road at San Diego State, who I think might be undefeated or have one loss. I'm going with Fresno on the road to win it.
Oh, boy.
At San Diego State.
Let's go.
Tonight. I just don't like San Diego State. The offense is just too anemic sometimes. They're not going to get it done offensively, the Aztecs.
Now, this is a game here I kind of like here. Penn State at Ohio State. 19 points. What's the deal here?
It's dangerous because Ohio State is that team. They got they always have a lot of talent, so they have this, and the way they play offense, they score. They play to score. They're a fast break kind of big scoring team. They play quick. They spread you out. They run it a lot, but they make big plays in the passing game. They played some weaker teams the last few weeks, and they've been putting up some big points, but now they're going to get into playing some tough teams. Ohio State. No more Indiana, beat up Indiana. No more Maryland. No more Rutgers. No more Tulsa. All those games are done. Now they're playing Penn State, 19 points. I'm going with the Nittany Lions. Clifford's healthy, the quarterback for Penn State. Give me the 19 points. Penn State can play defense. James Franklin coach team. They haven't been running the ball that well, but I figured that they'll run the ball enough in this game. I actually took Penn State. I did a small parlay. Penn State plus 700 and Washington State over Arizona State plus 500. I parlayed those together.
Wow.
I think it's $5 to win $230. Just those two teams to win. Washington State to beat Arizona State and Penn State to beat Ohio State.
Wow. That could be a big win.
Yeah. So it's a tough game. But Penn State's a big time football program. I mean, 19 points, I'll take it. Ohio State hasn't proven anything to me yet this year. So I'm going with that.
How about Boise State at Colorado State?
Under 51.5. Both these teams have been struggling on offense, struggling running the football. Boise State's got one great player, Shakir, who they're going to throw it to. They're going to try to run it to him, but no one else has played that well. The quarterback's okay. If neither team, and Colorado State plays good defense also, and their quarterback's not bad, that's going to be a defensive struggle. Give me them 51.5. As long as there's no special teams touchdowns, with Boise State gets a lot, or defensive touchdowns, just hope for punts, it should be a low-scoring game. I think it's a safe 51.5 under bet that game.
BYU, Virginia.
Oh, it's a tough game.
It's a close one. 2.5.
Yeah, BYU is more well-rounded than Virginia. Virginia's got a great quarterback, Brendan Armstrong, and they've been throwing the ball all over the lot this year. Can they hold up against BYU, who's pretty balanced? They can run the ball without Jerry. They throw it. The defense is tough. They're at home. That's a tough game. I want Virginia to win. I like Armstrong, the quarterback, but BYU's good, and their coach he's a little wild guy. Then they played a tough schedule this year, BYU. My goodness. Give them credit. Coach Kalani Sataki, their schedule BYU play, because they're independent, so they can play teams from all over the place. They're playing nothing but top-level teams every week, BYU. I mean, another good game against Virginia. Virginia. I feel like Virginia's quarterback, though, is a possible Heisman Trophy candidate. He's having that good of a year. It's crazy because coming into this year, Sam Howell from North Carolina was like a Heisman Trophy candidate. He's having a good year, but they've been losing. But other quarterbacks in the ACC have popped up as Heisman Trophy candidates. Kenny Pickett at Pitt, Brennan Armstrong at Virginia, and people forgetting about Sam Hartman at Wake Forest. They're undefeated, and they're ranked a little bit lower than they should. So I'm going to go in the BYU-Virginia game. I'm going to go over. I think it is 58 points. The over-under in that game. I'm going to double-check real quick. Let's get this. And it is 60. It is 65.5. It's high. Yeah, we're going to go over 65.5 in that game. But I don't love that, though. This is a hard game, actually. So I'm not going to put too much juice on this game. But the game I am going to put juice on, just speaking of Wake Forest, we were just speaking about them, man. What a name, too, Wake Forest. The name of university. Where did they get that from, Wake Forest? What do you mean, the forest? Like, where do you get that from?
It's going to be Woke Forest in
that's what
another few years.
You just killed it, man. you ripped that. You're right. Woke Forest.
Woke Forest.
They're going to say, you know what? That Wake thing is cool, but it's Woke Forest. Woke Forest Gump. Woke Forest Gump. That was a good one, bro. Woke Forest.
I think I'm gonna take the over.
I'm taking Wake Forest laying the 16 over Duke. Duke is not horrible, but I just think Wake Forest is a team that's really been slept on this year. They're getting no credit for being undefeated. They're not even ranked in the top 10 yet, and they're undefeated ACC team, not in the top 10. I think they're going to be motivated, and I think they're going to smash Duke today. I'm laying the 16 points with Wake at home, looking for the blowout. Let's go, fam.
What about UCLA at Utah?
Oh, that's a tough game. UCLA's been a team, that lost to Oregon last week broke my heart. Can they get enough juice up to go with Utah? By the way, the quarterback that came in for DTR, the young kid, I forget his name, Garber's little brother, he played pretty good. He's good. He might start at Utah this week. Utah coming off a home loss. A road loss at Oregon State. I don't know. I got to know who's starting that quarterback that game. But a game I do love is Oregon State and Cal. Oregon State is a 1.5 point favorite on the road at Cal. And I love Oregon State. I've been on Oregon State all year. I'm staying with the Beavers. They win. Later run at 1.5. Oregon State wins at Cal. That's a game I really like. And then we're gonna go. We're gonna go we're gonna buck the trend this week. We've been betting against the dogs all year.
Georgia.
The dogs.
The dogs.
Guess what, folks? We're taking the dogs this week in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party against their arch rivals, the Florida Gators.
Let's fucking go.
The Gators.
Fuck those Gators. Let's go.
The dogs. You're taking the dogs. Later, by the 0.5 point, make it 13.5. The dogs are avenging last year's loss to Florida in a big way. They're already number one in the country. Everyone knows, and they're going to cement it this week. They're going to smash the Gators.
Yo, dog, about to take the dogs. Yo.
The dogs. We like the dogs this week. 31-13 over Florida. They're covering, they're smashing. And another game, I see Nebraska as a 7.5 point favorite against Purdue. They get so much juice with the bookie, Nebraska. I don't exactly know why. I know they're a pretty good team, but should they be getting these 7.5 point favorite over Purdue? No. We're going to go with Purdue, taking the 7.5 points at home. On the road. Purdue on the road getting 7.5. Why not? What is so great about Nebraska this year? A lot of close losses. This should be a close game again. So I'm taking we're taking the points here. We're taking Purdue in the 7.5 points on the road. Purdue, they won at Iowa a couple of weeks ago. They've had some good wins this year. They're a good football team. Rolling with the Boilermakers. You like that, right?
Yeah, that's the illest name for a college football team, son.
The Boilermakers?
It's very blue collar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, they are blue collar squad, Purdue, man. They play in that dirty field, too. It looks like a mud box.
I love that shit, man.
Yeah, they're a pretty roughneck, rugged-ass team. So we're going to go with the Boilermakers. And we're going to I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think these guys got a lot of picks, man.
That's a pretty lengthy analysis right there, bro.
Yeah, we ran into some games. Let me see if there's anything else I want to throw at these.
It is a very tough week, too, man.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get one more game for the folks out here. Let's see if I skipped anything. Let's see. Oh, one more game.
Encore.
Kansas State at home, laying 3.5 against TCU. Kansas State's been tough all year. They had some tough losses. I think they're bouncing back. They beat Texas Tech. They came from behind last week. Now they got TCU coming in. I like the Wildcats laying 3.5 against the Frogs at home. Kansas State in Manhattan by 3.5. Take the Kansas State Wildcats. That's it.